It's just a beautiful venue, really intimate, excellent beer and excellent food and really incredible music.
I absolutely love their quirky and intimate vibe. The musicians love the place and so the audience love it as well.
So we're in the music with
everyone thinks we're a couple, I don't know why, you know.
We've been best friends since school, so we'd always talk about how amazing it would be to have a venue, the kind of venue that we'd like to hang out. Yeah. The kind of place where we'd like to go to listen to music.
Well, it reminds me a bit of playing at the Bluebird in Nashville. There's not much separation between the audience and the person who's singing, which is a really cool thing for the performer as well as the audience, I think. And it sounds really good too.
We have a bit of a philosophy here that I've tried to create. My favourite moments of Green Note are when you forget there's anything between you and the musicians. And when you kind of break down that barrier between the performer and the audience, something really magical can happen in the room, and that's where we get our atmosphere from. It's a real pleasure to see a lot of the musicians come through here go on to bigger and better things. Sometimes they get a little bit too big to come back to our little tiny room that we love so much, but quite often they come back anyway and just don't tell that many people about it. It's a great feeling to feel like you've been a part of that journey to that kind of success.
There are plenty of things about the Green Note that make it exceptionally special as a venue, and not least the two women, Evie and Risa, that run it. Everything that they do seems to be done very gracefully and very effortlessly. You know, all the way from DIY to the big decisions, they're doing it all themselves.
We wanted to create a scene, bring a community to us, and there is a scene out there. I think we've tapped into it, but also created it as well.
This is not a business you do for the business side of it.
You've got to do it for the love of it.
For the love of it.
You just feel amazing vibrations. You just feel great when you're here. It's actually very, very rare, I find, in London to be at a place with so much heart.
Well, good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen. It's 8 p.m. It's Wednesday, and we welcome you back to the virtual Green Note. I hope you're doing well and you had a good weekend, and maybe you've been enjoying some of the sun that's been happening today, certainly if you've been in the UK. As always, Wednesdays and Fridays, we're bringing you the best singer-songwriters that have passed across the stage over the last few years at the Real Green Note. Obviously, because of lockdown, we haven't got any live gigs, so we're just trying to bring some of that vibe to you in this online world. So welcome to those of you who have been with us before, and welcome to anybody that's visiting us afresh for the first time. So, as I said, three amazing singer-songwriters playing in the round for you this evening. For those of you who haven't come across that, it's very, very easy. Each singer will sing a song in turn. We'll go around a couple of times. We'll have a little break in the middle. We'll do it all over again. And then if you want to, you can join us after the show for a little bit of a meetup via Zoom. You can have a chat with the artists, chat with each other, chat with us if you wish. So without any further ado, let's bring these three amazing singers, performers onto our virtual stage. As always, it's an international lineup again. So firstly, from Austin, Texas, I had to check my notes there for a second. Please welcome Rebecca Loeebe. Good evening, Rebecca. How are you doing?
Good evening. I'm doing well.
Well,
how are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, evening for us, I
Yes.
suppose. Well, evening for me. Where are you? About 2 o'clock in the afternoon?
2 o'clock, yeah.
Ah, beautiful. Okay. Excellent. Well, let's flip back over the pond and come back to England and welcome Luke Jackson. Good evening to you, Luke.
Hey, mate. How's it going?
I'm all right. I'm all right.
Good. Good.
Let's set you up like this. This makes we can see the full width of you, if that's not a horrible way of expressing it, but there we go. Sorry about that. I don't know if those are the right words. And last but not least, from Baltimore, please welcome Letitia VanSant. Good evening, Letitia.
Hello.
Excellent to see you all. So I believe that Letitia has been voted, or has sort of whatever, has been told that she's going to be first. So I shall obey. All right, I shall obey the powers that be, and we'll get on with the music as quickly as we can. So please welcome to our virtual stage, Letitia VanSant, everybody.
Hey, thank you guys so much for having me. And first, I just wanted to say thank you to the Green Note for existing. I think that folks who run small venues are just such an important part of our cultural ecosystem. And people talk a lot about how things are really hard for artists, but things are really, really hard for venues. And particularly during this time, it seems like they're really rising to the occasion. And, I think some of the hidden side of these live streams is often the 10 minutes before the show is like panicking with technical difficulties. But Nick and Patch have been just like, it's almost like audio therapy in my ears to guide us through this. So thank you. And I wanted to start with this song that is about my struggles with shyness, partly because I feel really comfortable performing in front of people in person, but for me, playing on the internet is, it feels like a new skill set. And it reminds me of when I was in middle school. I was like so shy that I would have to make little goals for myself, and I would say like, okay, today in algebra, I'm gonna ask Julie what time it is. And I had to like coach myself through that. So singing this song is like me coaching myself through the online live stream jitter. So thanks for bearing with me. Always on the outside looking in, standing in the doorway wondering to sit. I grab a drink, I check my phone, excuse myself to the hall alone. Why do I always wish I'd stayed at home in the middle of a crowded room? Always on the inside looking out, trapped inside a cage I made from all my doubts. Stunted words fall out my mouth, and I retreat back to the couch. I can't ever seem to figure out why did I have to say that? Well, they tell you when you're older, you will have this figured out. Well, they tell you when you're older, you will have this figured out. Always on the bottom looking up, dreaming of the day when I'll work up the guts. I know my truth, I know my worth, but that don't make it easier to walk into a room and act like I deserve a moment of your attention. Well, they tell you when you're older, you will have this figured out. Well, they tell you when you're
beautiful.
Beautiful.
Thank you. You know, today they were supposed to be jackhammering outside my house. They were working on the gas lines, but it rained, so they're not out there. Which is great.
I had that as well, actually. All the gas is being done down my road.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so if it was 2 o'clock where I am, you would have heard it, but luckily UK time they've packed up and gone home now.
Yeah.
So we got lucky. That was a beautiful song.
Thank you.
Really pretty.
Well, yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for the Green Note for having me. I'll carry on with a song from my very first album, my debut album, which I released in 2012, I think. I was doing a Facebook Live a couple of weeks ago and done a request show, basically allowing people just to choose songs from any album I'd released thus far for them to choose and I'd play, and this seemed to be a particularly popular one. So I had to relearn it for that live, but just fell in love with it all over again, and in a way kind of more so than ever, really. So this has stuck around since that. I wrote this when I was about 14, 15 years old, I think. I initially wrote this song about the worry of leaving secondary school, and when doing so, the change that would happen, you know, falling out of touch with current friends, thinking that your childhood friends are friends for life and that kind of stuff. But it seems to resonate with me in a different way these days. This here is a song of mine called Baker's Woods. Woke up early, was greeted by a Sunday. The sky was clear, the world was awake, and it made me smile to hear the birds singing the sweetest lullaby. The world was looking fine, oh so fine through my eyes, and down a woodside with my 2 allies, none of us sure how to spend our time. So we walked to the woods, just thinking about life. So we climbed, ooh, we climbed, and ooh, the time, climbing trees in Baker's Woods, climbing until they climbing trees in Baker's Woods with my 2 best friends. Now we've grown our separate ways, none of us know how we spend our days, and maybe in a job or something along those lines, but I would give anything, everything, just to climb side by side on more time with my 2 eyes. Ooh, the time, climbing trees in Baker's Woods climbing until the end, climbing trees in Baker's Woods with my two best all the time, climbing trees in Baker's Woods, climbing until the end. We climb trees in Baker's Woods, me and my two best friends. My two best friends.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, that was making me feel really nostalgic too.
Oh, yeah.
Most articulate end of secondary school graduate of all time, Jackson. Gosh, well, this is so fun. Thank you so much to Emmy and Reese for putting this together. I was just joking before the show that their venue is so immaculately run and run with so much heart that it wasn't at all surprising that their live streams are also run that way. So thank you, Risa and Emmy. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to take my headphones off because they're going to bump into my guitar, so don't mind me. We're all just learning how to be live streamers now. Thought I'd start with a song that I actually co-wrote with the young Luke Jackson, who just finished his Baker's Wood song. He and I shared some tours together in the US and the UK back in 2017. And we wrote this song in the car one night on a really late drive when I was getting very tired and needed some distraction. So I had him pull this guitar up into the front seat and start noodling on it just to kind of entertain me. And we just decided to write a song. So this song was written between the hours of midnight and 2 a.m. on I-95 North, in between Richmond and DC, at very responsible speeds, I'm sure. I've been waiting for hours now on my homebound train. Got a cold cup of coffee and a lot to explain. Lake Louise. anymore. Old man by the window, wearing moth-eaten tweed, sheds a tear in the shadow. I think I know what he needs. Lake can I walk on your water? Can I sleep on your shore? Am I safe in your harbor anymore? Lake Louise, Lake Louise, Lake Louise, Lake Louise, Lake I've been riding for hours now on my homebound train, waiting, waiting, waiting till they call out your name.
Ah, beautiful. I would love to hear you guys singing that together. That would be such amazing harmonies on there.
It's very fun.
Yeah, we had fun doing that. That feels like a lifetime ago we wrote that.
Really long time ago.
We also wrote one about the joys of Waffle House, which
Yes.
which I kind of prefer in a strange way, but
That was really funny. He did like
Yeah.
a 2-minute freestyle about Waffle House just towards the end when I was getting really batty and having trouble staying awake. It did the job. We're both alive.
yeah. That was beautiful.
Luke and I made a deal on that tour on the first day that I would do all the driving in the US and he would do all the driving in the UK. And I agreed to it before I looked at a map. And I'm pretty sure that he did as much driving in the entire UK tour as I did on our first day. Because on
Yeah.
our first day, we drove from Kansas City to Nashville, which was like 550 miles. It was brutal. And then we had 2 more weeks after that. But it was very fun.
Yeah, the relative distances are like, you can't compare.
Well, and Luke,
Yeah,
that was your
yeah.
first time really driving around America, right?
Oh, entirely. Yeah. I'd been over before for Folk Alliance, but you're in a hotel, so
Yeah.
you could be anywhere. So yeah, and I remember the drive on that first day. It felt like forever. Like if you done that in the UK, you'd drive from one end of the country to another. If not from literally, if you went any further, you'd end up in the sea. So we did that, and I was like, oh, we must have driven like pretty much the whole length of the country today then. And then Rebecca showed me on, say your map's like that. There was like that much of it. So, yeah.
I'm curious. Like, people always ask me like, what's the difference between playing music in the UK versus playing music in the US. And I'm curious what your perspective on that is.
I think it's subjective as to where you are and what venues you're in.
Right,
I would say the obvious thing is that I find American crowds more vocal.
Agree.
But in like a good way, as in getting a sense of. I think in the UK, the whole point is if you, by the end of the show, have a crowd singing along with you or clapping along with you or being involved, that's because you've managed to win them over. So you should feel good about that. Whereas in America, I feel as soon as they've stepped foot into the venue, they're already up for that.
Right, they're there to have a good time.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas us Brits are a little bit more like, no, I don't think I want to be involved this evening. So.
Sometimes when I'm first starting a tour in either the UK or in the Europe, Netherlands in particular, it takes me a couple of nights to remember that about the audience.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
I will feel like I'm bombing on stage. Like during my first few, during the whole show, I think like, oh my God, they're being so quiet. Like they hate me. This is going terribly. What am I doing with my life? And then I get off stage and they're lovely and buy millions of CDs, maybe not millions, but lots of CDs, sign the email list, very effusive and warm and sweet. And it takes a few days to remember that it's just a cultural difference.
And even I find that going from the UK over to Belgium, Holland, Germany. I remember one of the first shows I played in Belgium was with my bassist. And at half time, I was like, there's a woman in the front row and she hates us. I was like, she has the most stone cold face and she's just staring with her arms crossed. And then at the end, she did exactly that, bought all the CDs, and she's come to loads of shows since and is the loveliest woman. But still to this day, during the songs, is just all the way through. So you do have to adapt to it a bit.
She's probably sitting at home watching this live stream like that right now.
Hi,
Belgian lady.
Here, I can simulate for you if you want.
Yeah.
I've had that experience too. It's like really terrifying when you see somebody like just scowling, but you never know what they're thinking. Lessons you learn along the way. Well, before we go into the little screen, my next song was kind of inspired by my experience at Kerrville Folk Festival.
Oh, I love
that. And I know, Rebecca, that's been a near and dear place for you. So I just wanted to, maybe could you paint the picture of like what's the scene there and what is it? And, like,
absolutely. The Kerrville Folk Festival is an 18-day long folk festival in West Texas, in the hill country of Texas. It's not all the way out in the desert, but it's about 100 miles outside of Austin, about that far from San Antonio, not really close to anything major. And you're on this ranch, and for 18 days, this ranch becomes a little village of tents, and people, it's like summer camp for adults with no counselors is the best way I could describe it. So there's music, people who are booked to perform on the stage at night, but that's not even really the main point of the festival. It's a songwriters festival, and what that means is that they're not celebrating musical performance as much as they are the craft of songwriting. So after each night on the main stage, people go and disperse to little campfires, little despots all over the ranch, and sit and trade songs, just like we're doing right now, but around a campfire into the night until 4, 5, 6 in the morning. It's routine to stay up till sunrise singing songs with your new friends. And then you fall asleep in your tent, exhausted, and sleep for as long as you can until the hot sun comes up at like 9 a.m., too bright overhead to sleep anymore, and then you get up and go swim in the river and do it all over again. For 18 days. It's really
Yes. That was a really great description.
Thanks.
Very colorful and succinct.
I've been going for a while. When were you there?
Well, I did the contest in 2017 and then I came back in 2018. And that was shortly after the death of Jimmy LaFave. And I didn't know Jimmy. I didn't know his music. Like I wasn't familiar before I went there, but I was in a place in my life when I was feeling really, really cynical and not really finding what I could see the way forward, either for myself, like personally, or in music, or like for our country. And then I just had this moment when like all these people were singing Jimmy's songs around the campfires, and I was just amazed to see how his energy was still really moving through the world. And so it was just this moment when the clouds parted for me, And I was able to take in like, wow, like we are on a planet that has water and it has air, and you can vibrate the air to make music. And so that's where this song came from. I'll get back up.
Watch the dying embers roll to the sky. Hear the creatures calling out soft and wild. The silence doesn't need no meaningless words, like plugging up a well with cheap filled dirt. Holding this guitar makes me think of Tom. He would open up the circle, make you feel you belong. A river flowing clears the stone apart. This pain is carved again and into my heart. Someone give me a song to sing that sounds like something real. I want the whole world to know exactly how I feel. All of the hinges so stiff with rust. I always thought that I just wasn't strong enough. Throw open the windows of my shuttered soul. Let the thunder and the rain and the breezes blow. We suffer from a wound called love, from some other victim of God above. It bleeds and it yearns and festers and burns. And music is the closest thing I know to a cure. Someone give me a song to sing that sounds like something real. I want the whole world to know exactly how I feel. How I feel. How I feel. This vibration inside your throat, it travels the air as a heavenly note. I get this feeling deep in my bones when I sing with you. I feel less alone. The hotel lobby or the grand old Opry, I only wanna sing the truth. I don't care who's listening out there, I only wanna sing with you. Someone give me a song to sing that sounds like something real. I want the whole world to know exactly how I feel. How I feel. How I
Beautiful.
Thank you, thank you.
Brilliant. That's so beautiful. I'm so glad to know where that came from, too.
Right. Well, I will go from playing one of my oldest songs to one of my newer ones. This is on my current CD, an album I released just before Christmas. And this was the first single taken from that CD, an album called Journals. This is a song I wrote about the issues and the problems surrounding male depression and the ability to talk about it openly, and why it seems to be such a taboo. I'm unsure, but I wanted to write this in the hope that it may help someone in some small way, I guess. This is a song called Heavy.
Fake smile, put the wool over the eyes of those who care. When things are getting heavy, tonight, 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 let them believe everything's fine, leave them unaware. Buried deep, hide it if you can. Turn down every helping hand. Though there really ain't no shame in being a broken man. Things are getting heavy. Go chasing the night, chasing every high, though it leaves you low. When things are getting heavy, let the days pass by. It's easier to hide and to feel alone. Very deep, hide it if you can. Turn down every helping hand. Though there really ain't no shame in being a broken man. Is it pride that keeps us closed, or the fear of looking weak, when really we all know it takes fearlessness to speak. Learn to dig it up, face it if you can, hold on to every helping hand. Learn to dig it up, face it if you can, hold on. Really ain't no shame in feeling broken. Really ain't no shame in feeling a little broken. No, there really ain't no shame in being a broken man.
Wow. Wow. Oh, that was killer.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh
Thank you.
God.
Wow.
Gorgeous.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, screw you, Luke. That was really amazing. That was so good. I'm taking my silly headphones off again. Wow. Oh, so beautiful. Well, before I launch into song, I just wanted to say hi to some people in the chat. See some familiar names, Robert and Sabra and Ronnie and Fraj, and lots of lovely people that I don't know. So hello to everyone that I'm meeting for the first time, and hi to my friends who have come to hang out. It's lovely to get to spend the afternoon playing music. I just did my first one of these live streams last week, and I had been sort of intentionally a little withdrawn for the first part of quarantine because I wanted to focus on doing some inner work and nurturing myself before getting out there and trying to entertain people. And as soon as I set up a mic and had an online audience and started singing, I was reminded of how good it feels to connect with people with songs, even from far away, even at a distance, even with a screen between us. There's just something about moving air, like Letitia was saying, to create emotions and to share thoughts and feelings that is a huge part of my life, really important. So anyhow, I'm thrilled to be here, and I'm going to play a song written by someone from Luke's country and performed at its full peak, in my opinion, by a fantastic singer from Letitia's neck of the woods. Hi, Joe. You remember me when the west wind moves upon the fields of barley. You'll forget the sun in his jealous sky as we walk in fields of gold. So she took her love for to gaze a while upon the fields of barley. In his arms she fell as her hair came down as we walked in fields of gold. Will you stay with me? Will you be my love among the fields of barley? We'll forget the sun in his jealous sky as we lie in fields of gold. See the west wind move like a lover's soul among the fields of barley. Feel her body rise as you kiss her mouth among the fields of gold. I never made promises lightly, but there have been those that I've broken, and I swear in the days still left we will lie in fields of gold. We will lie in fields of gold. Many years have passed since those summer days among the fields of barley. See the children run as the sun goes down among the fields of gold. You remember me when the west wind moves upon the fields of barley. You can tell the sky, when we walked in fields of gold, when we walked in fields of gold, we would walk in fields of gold.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, we've got Emmy. Oh, what's going on? Oh, loads of things going on there. So we're all. We've got Emmy and Rita. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have we're swapping jobs this evening, and we're all learning each other's jobs tonight, so that we have a little bit of a redundancy, just in case something awful goes wrong, because we are in the lap of the internet gods, as we shall say. So a beautiful first half, and we will be talking to Letitia, Luke, and Rebecca in a little moment. For those of you who have been here before and know that we have a little break after the first sort of couple of rounds, and we introduce the owners of Green Note, sort of the minds behind all of this, and they come and have a chat with you. Good evening, Emmy and Risa. How are you?
Good evening.
Excellent.
We were brought onto screen early today.
Yeah, I know.
They took us by
That's
surprise.
That's okay. Well, this
I was
whole
getting
thing
carried
is,
away there listening to the last song, which is gorgeous.
yeah, we've all got to be really, really careful now. We've got webcams in the house. Well, I don't, because mine's not working. So there we go. But anyway, over to you guys. What's been going on?
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks.
Yeah, loving. Wow, these shows are just I can't say
Blowing
better.
our minds. They're blowing our minds. We're on show number 8, aren't we?
Yeah, and every show is just I'm loving it. It's the vibe tonight with the chemistry with you three is just incredible. It's really
I know that Rebecca and Luke know each other. I'm not sure if Letitia knew them before or not, but it's just feels like they're old friends sharing a stage.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say to Letitia and to all of you that Kerrville Folk Festival, you were talking about that, and that brought back nice memories for me as well, that hearing that song and hearing you talk about it, because I didn't do the whole 18 days, sadly. I did about 4 days, which was pretty cool. But respect for those who do 18 days. And it's a beautiful festival.
So long. It was like, I think one year I messaged that Green Note for August and go and do the whole of Kerrville or something. I don't know.
I know, and the swimming in the river is amazing. It's a gorgeous river, and it's just Anyway, we have a couple of small announcements as usual.
Yeah, so thank you for joining us tonight. As Nick said at the beginning, we're here every Wednesday and Friday evening live at 8 o'clock UK time, which is all sorts of different times wherever you are in the world. I'm not even going to figure that out. But it's amazing. We're having people tuning in from all over, so thank you for that. Please subscribe to us on social media or on YouTube, Facebook. You can watch in both those places. We're currently doing we're just trying to get some more YouTube subscribers. So
we just reached
400, but we've just passed that. So I don't know.
Yes, just this evening we reached 400. Last time I checked, it was 407. We were never that bothered about these things, but YouTube, we never really used it before. But since we've been doing this series, I think we had about 12 subscribers before we started this series, and now we're over 400. So that's kind of exciting, because it means people can be kept up to date with what we're doing.
Yeah, so it's our little goal. So that's our next little goal. Maybe 500 will be next week. Who knows? But yeah, so please subscribe to us, follow us, do all those things. Check out our Spotify playlist. It's got a selection of all the artists we've got coming up on the series. Everyone we've got coming up. We've got some amazing shows we just announced. Just a few hours ago, actually, we just confirmed the 22nd of May, which is Don Martin, who was supposed to be on last week and for technical issues wasn't able to be on, but he's going to be back with Martin Harley and the Lowest Pair, so that's going to be a great show. That's just been confirmed. What else? Next, this Friday we've got a great show with Chastity Brown, Bronwyn Brent, and Sam Baker. So
It's going to be great, that one. I can't wait.
Every show I just get so excited.
I know. They're all great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sorry, have you finished? I've got a couple more things to add. Yeah, just checking. There's my mic. So what do I need to add to that? So after the show, Nick already mentioned it, but just a little reminder, we've been developing this tradition of doing an after show hangout, which we do on Zoom. And it's a little Q&A with the artists and a chance to just kind of chat after the show and hang out as we would at Green Note once the show is finished. And finally, just to remind you, I know many of you have already been donating this evening. We've seen some donations coming in, but just a reminder that we are running these shows. We're putting loads of work into them. The artists are, giving their time and playing live for you. And we're not selling tickets for them, but we are asking you to make a donation if you're able to, and support what we're doing, help to keep music live, and help to keep this series running. The money's divided between will be divided between the 3 artists who are playing the show this evening. So thanks so much for your support, and let's get back to the music.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Right, as Imi and Risa mentioned, many of you do watch either through YouTube or via the website, and the website is basically a daisy chain of YouTube. So if you are watching direct on the website, you can click on the YouTube button that appears at the bottom of the screen and you can come and subscribe. Click on the bell and you'll get notified when we put new shows up and when shows go live. So the address is there below. I'll lose that now. And without further ado, let's bring everybody back up. So let's welcome back Letitia, Rebecca and Luke.
Hello.
Howdy ho.
Okay.
Hi.
So without, I think I've said this before, further ado, but to getting bored of the sound of my own voice now. So let's get back to the music and welcome back to the stage Letitia VanSant.
All right. This one was a request. Got to do it. So, it's inspired by, there was a period of my life when I was working in Washington, D.C., and I was working at a lobby group that worked on peace and social justice. I was there for about 5 or 6 years, and then just for a number of different reasons, decided that I wanted something different out of life, and I moved back to Baltimore, where I'm from, and my partner and I ended up getting this house, as you see here, and it needed a lot of work. And we have this term in construction, when a house is so far gone that you just have to tear everything down and start over, and it's called gutting it to the studs. And I've heard that in the UK they don't often use that term, but there is kind of an equivalent of going back to brick. Yeah, this is a song just about, sometimes just got to start over.
Like sand caught in my bed sheets, it is rubbing raw my chest. Makes me pace in all these circles, wakes me nightly in a sweat. These darker hours before the dawn are where I keep my regrets. My mind says everything is fine, but my heart chomps at the bit. Is it wrong to want what I want? To find what's right? Gotta gut it to the studs. Well, something here is not quite right. Yeah, something's all messed up. I'm knocking down the walls tonight. Gotta gut it to the studs. I know that I must sacrifice all the sentimental stuff. Gotta get the wires running right before the drywall goes back up. Is it wrong to want what I want? To find what's right, gotta cut it to the studs. There are people risking all they have in fragile little boats. But me, I lay here in my bed reading Wendell Berry quotes. Well, he has something figured out. Yes, he knows how to hope. And that's a skill that I might need in a fragile little boat. Is it wrong to want what I want? To find what's right, gotta cut it to the studs. Have we got the gumption to believe that we could start anew? It could be called naivety or the foolishness of youth. But only fools can sleep in homes with the cracks still running through. Yes, we must build from the very stud something level, something true. Is it wrong to want what I want? To find what's right, gotta cut it to the studs. Is it wrong to want what I want? To find what's right, gotta cut it to the studs. Gotta cut it to the studs. Gotta cut it to the studs.
It was funny when they played that on the radio in the UK. There were some of the announcers were like, "No, I wonder, is cutting it to the studs, does it have something to do with horses or like they?"
Funny.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful song.
Oh,
thanks.
That was really lovely.
Well, I'll play a cover, which was requested to add one cover in this, and this is a fairly new one I learned over the last couple of weeks in lockdown. I had the time to try and master the guitar part of this, which is a bit of a nightmare in itself, but this is one of my all-time favourite songs by one of my personal favourite singer-songwriters, musicians, performers, the wonderful Richard Thompson. And this is his masterpiece. "1952 Vincent Black Lightning."
Said Red Molly to James, "That's a fine motorbike. How a girl could feel special on any such a like." Said James to Red Molly, "My hat's off to you. It's a Vincent Black Lightning 1952. Well, I've seen you in the cafes, corner it seems. Red hair, black leather, my favourite colour schemes." And he pulled around behind, down a box hill they'd ride. Said James, "In my opinion, there's nothing in this world beats a 52 Vincent and a red-headed girl. No Nortons and Indians and Greaves won't do. They don't have a soul like a Vincent 52. We've seen you in the corners and cafes it seems. Red hair but like a leather, my favorite color schemes. And if fate should break my stride, then I'll give you my Vincent to ride. Come down, Red Molly, Coach Sergeant McCrae, for they've taken young James 8 for armed robbery. Shotgun blast hit his chest, nothing left inside. Come down, Red Molly, to his dying bedside. When she got to the hospital, there wasn't much left. He was running out of road, running out of breath. But he smiled to see her cry. He said, I'll give you my Vincent to ride. Said James, in my opinion, there's nothing in this world beats a 52 Vincent on a red-headed go. No Nortons and Indians and Greaves won't do. They don't have a soul like a Vincent 52. But he reached out a hand and slipped her the keys. Said, I've got no further use for these. I see angels in aerials, leather and chrome, swooping down from heaven to carry me home. And he gave her one last kiss and died. And he gave her his Vincent to ride.
Yes.
Damn.
Thank you.
Yes.
Love that song.
Yeah, no, me too.
It was
Thank
a
you.
killer performance of it. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Just casually crushing it. Do, 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 do. So beautiful.
Easy money's hard to earn. Sell your soul for a lesson learned. This side of hell don't nothing burn like easy money. Easy money's gonna lie to you, yeah. That's what lying liars do. Can nobody twist the truth like easy money? Call your mama to say you're sorry. You took a wrong turn good to scratch that itch. You'll go broke trying to get your fix with easy money. Call your mama to say you're sorry. You took a wrong turn on highway robbery. Drop the phone when she starts asking loaded questions like, how's your day been? Easy money, there's no such thing, just a finger stained in a fool's gold ring. Nothing scars, yeah, nothing stings like easy money.
Yes.
Love that.
That
song.
is a great song.
Thank you so much. That was my I'm gonna face my fear of co-writing song. I had never written with anyone before.
Oh,
really,
wow. That's
when I
a
wrote
great
that
song. Wow.
And,
Who did you write it with?
I went to Nashville for 10 days and did 8 co-writing appointments. Just figured like I'm gonna face this head
Wow.
on, jump into the deep end of the pool. And that was one of the people I got together with. It was actually 2 guys named Mick Hargan and Jeremy Drinkwine. And they're so nice and so super talented and were so sweet. And I had a number of actually bad co-writing experiences in a row and showed up kind of traumatized. But they were like, just take a deep breath, we'll be fine. And we just started chatting. And it came up that one of their brothers had just been arrested for robbing a bank. And that we were all just sort of stunned by that. And one of us said like, wow, it's really amazing how hard some people will work for easy money. And then we just wrote that song.
Wow.
So it was a wild experience.
Wow, that's so brave. You just like went to Nashville and booked all this. That would be very intimidating for me.
It was yeah, terrifying. I just felt like, oh, I can't co-write. That's for other people. I'm not one of those people who could do it. And then I just thought like, I think that's one of those things that I'm telling myself and therefore it's becoming true. It's not actually a true fact. It's just a self-limiting belief type fact. So tried to.
That's it. Well, that's inspiring. Maybe you'll help me get over the hump.
Yeah, girl, let's go to Nashville. Let's write some songs. Come to Austin.
All right. So we're going to do our last round. And I want to say my profound thanks to the Green Note for hosting this and for all of you for spending your time doing this. Time is precious, and thank you for spending it with us. And I also just want to end with a prayer for everyone who is sick and everyone who's caring for the sick and everyone who is chipping in there, and may we all be well.
I've heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do you? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. You saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty in moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to her kitchen chair, she broke your throne and she cut your hair, and from your lips she drew the hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. But baby, I've been here before. I've seen this room and I've walked this floor. I used to live alone before I knew you. And I've seen your flag on the marble arch, and love is not a victory march. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Well, there was a time when you let me know what's really going on below, but now you never show that to me, do you? But remember when I moved in you, the holy dove was moving too, and every breath we drew was hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Well, maybe there's a God above, but all I really learned from love was how to shoot at someone who outdrew you. It's not a cry that you hear at night. It's not somebody who's seen the light. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
Lovely version.
So beautiful.
That was great. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in this evening. I want to say a huge thank you to the guys at Green Note, to Imi and Risa, of course, and also to Nick and Patch working behind the scenes. It's been a pleasure. Of course, to Letitia and Rebecca, it's been great sharing a screen with you guys. Hopefully one day we can do this and share a stage with each other. That would be fun. But until then, I hope you're all staying safe and staying positive, and just the support towards live music during these strange, troubling times have been incredible. So thank you all so very much for that. I think my website is on the screen here, so check that out. It's Luke Paul Jackson. Everything you need to know is on that. But it has been a pleasure. I will leave you with this song, something new. It's a song I wrote called Curse the Day.
Set my heart on fire, keep me up at night, fight used to own. I will know your love didn't break me, no, at least it hasn't broke me yet. But yeah, your love drove me crazy. Gonna curse the day we met. Maybe I should put the bottle down, but why fight the feeling, the urge to follow you around, the surface of my demons. I will know your love didn't break me, no, at least it hasn't broke me yet. But yeah, your love drove me crazy. You gotta curse the day we met. I wish that I could put a lid on you, in the way you seem to put a lid on me. Maybe I could learn to let you be. Maybe you could get some sleep. I said that I wish that I could put a lid on you, in the way you seem to put a lid on me. Maybe I could learn to let you be. Maybe you could get some sleep. Oh, your love didn't break me, no, at least it hasn't broke me yet. Oh, your love drove me crazy. You're gonna curse the day. You're gonna curse the day. You're gonna curse the day we met.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great song.
Thank you.
God. I hadn't heard that. That was beautiful.
Oh, it's brand new that one. So
Ugh.
thank you.
I was like dancing.
Yeah.
Well, I know that we all are heading over to our little Zoom hang in just a few minutes, so I will just briefly say one more thanks to Emmy and Risa and Nick and Patch and everyone behind the scenes making this go so smoothly, and thank you to my co-stars for the day, Luke and Letitia. I hope we get to do this in real life sometime. And I'm gonna leave all of you guys who are listening with a song. It's the title track of my new record. The album's called Give Up Your Ghosts. And the album and this song in particular are full of songs that I wrote to remind myself, I think, to let go of the things that are holding me back, let go of the limitations that I put on myself. I think it's something that we can all do. We can allow ourselves to be ruled by our ghosts. So this is a song for anyone who needs a reminder that whatever it is you need, you've got. Whatever it is you want, you can do. And we're all going to be okay. Have you ever tried to fall asleep
twisting in a stranger's sheets, unsure where you should put your feet, unsure if you belong. Have you ever watched a peaceful chest rise and fall as you got dressed? Unsure if you could catch your breath, unsure if you're that strong. Relax, let it go, roam with the flow. You're gonna get over it, be fine in the end. Give up all your ghosts, at least the ones you love the most. They're never holding you as close as you were holding them. Have you ever felt a sinking hook in the soft flesh of a hand you shook? The glancing of a single look you die to see again. Have you ever tried to cross that bridge far away from where you live, unsure where the bottom is or why you need to know? Relax, let it go, roll with the flow. You're gonna get over it, be fine in the end. Give up all your ghosts, at least the ones you love the most. They're never holding you as close as you were holding them. Don't forget we're all worthy of a little faith and a lot of mercy. Have you ever woken from a dream, rattle as a tambourine, unsure if you should laugh or scream or simply play along? Relax, let it go, roll with the flow. You're gonna get over it, be fine in the end. Give up all your ghosts, at least the ones you love the most. They're never holding you as close as you were holding them.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
That's great. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks so much. This was so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
Ah, excellent, guys. Thank you so much. It's been I always say this, but it is a wonderful way to spend a Wednesday evening and a Friday evening, because I get to do both. So thank you so much for joining us and
Thank you.
for just being amazing. It's
Thank you so
been a
much.
lovely evening. So obviously, for those of you out there watching, listening, we've sort of come to the end of the music. Just a couple of little things before we go. So at the top of the show, we mentioned the Zoom chat, and I know Imi and Risa did it in half time as well. If you want to join us, it's normally about 5 minutes after we end the broadcast. You can come, follow that Zoom code, or go to Zoom, put that code in, and you'll be able to join us and come chat with us and the artists afterwards. As Imi and Risa said, we aren't ticketing for any of these shows at all. We are encouraging donations though, so if you can do, please either follow the links that are in the descriptions, the event descriptions on YouTube or on Facebook. I have put them up in the chat, and we will try and do so again before the end. Follow those links. All the donations will get split amongst the artists on the evening. So obviously we're trying to sort of keep as much of the Green Note going as we possibly can in this online environment, and support the artists as best we can. So please do that if you are able. That would be amazing. Actually, I was just thinking a little weird thing, because I just did say we're trying to bring the real Green Note online. There's one thing about the Green Note stage. It's got a little squeak on one of the floorboards, and on a really quiet moment, it sounds like a ship in the wind. You just get this. Letitia's got the same squeak on the floorboard. It was like,
True.
she's
Brought
like,
the squeak.
You're welcome.
more and more, you know. We'll get everybody to have red drapes and stuff later.
That's a good idea.
Anyway, sorry, that was a complete digression. The other thing that we do is, obviously, as well as donating via the PayPal links, you can go and buy merch off the artists. We've been putting their websites up below their faces during the second half. Guys, I know that you've all got new albums out. What else are you trying to sort of get people to sort of check out? You know, live streams and all that sort of thing that you might be doing over the next couple of weeks. Letitia, what have you got going on?
Actually, this is my last live stream that I've got on the books at the moment, but I do have a Patreon page, and I've been really enjoying getting to share rough drafts with people on there.
Cool.
So.
What's the Patreon link?
It's just patreon.com/Letitia VanSant, and spelled like Letitia with 2 T's.
Okay, cool. Luke, and yourself?
On Sunday I'm doing a set. I've pre-recorded a set for a friend of mine who's putting on an online festival. Rebecca, you know Kieran Algar and Greg Russell, right?
Oh, that's a great project.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so Kieran Algar's been doing, Nick, so you know about it. He's been doing his collabs, and he's now putting on a festival over Saturday and Sunday, a bunch of amazing artists. I'm on the Sunday at 7 o'clock, so I'm involved in that, but for anyone at home who has nothing to do, like most of us over the weekends, check that out, because it's a bunch of amazing artists. And then I think next Wednesday I'm going to be doing a live. The idea is to redo all the songs from my very first album, More Than Boys. So I've got to spend the next week relearning a lot of old songs that I haven't played in years, so that'll keep me busy.
Excellent. And what about you, Rebecca?
I am playing a live stream next Wednesday on my Facebook and Instagram page. And it'll be in the evening in the UK and during the day in the US. So you could, similar time to this, you can check that out. And also, like Letitia, I've got a Patreon page, which is the thing in the world I am most excited about right now. Because, my Patreon started as a bit of a side project, and now it has become my main project. You can find that at patreon.com/Rebecca Loeebe.
Beautiful. Well, thanks to everybody that's tuned in this evening. The virtual Green Note is live every Wednesday and every Friday at 8 p.m. UK time. Do follow us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube so that you're updated with all the shows that we're putting out over the next few weeks. Obviously, we don't know how long this is going to go on for in terms of not having the real venue up and running, so this is where we're going to be. So please come and join us. I'm just going to say thank you once again to Letitia, Luke and Rebecca, and thank you everybody that's listening. And good evening and goodbye, and we'll see you in the Zoom chat in about 5 minutes. Speak to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you.